Heidi ho, it's about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning here. I'm in Alberta and I finally got a hold of some individuals. And because we're playing the numbers and everybody's got to watch themselves and what they say, I do know this: the event that they were going to have, or the Anon event, there's a build-up happening right now. And from people that I've talked to, it's taken me a bit to get hooked up with individuals. The first couple of videos I put out might have seemed like madness, but I found what I'm looking for. I found who I was looking for. Things are way deeper than what we are looking at. Uh, we're going to have to make some decisions here in the next little while as Canadians, North Americans, whatever. The things that are happening, California burning and all this other stuff, it's not good. I've lost many channels. I've been trying to lay low, but I do have 11 subscribers, and I think it's about time that individuals, if they want to leave their comments and whatever, do such. I live in Canada. I live in Alberta. I live in Medicine Hat in the southern quarter. We have some rough weather. I've been watching a lot of people trying to prepare for things, and a lot of people don't want to acknowledge things. People are slowly waking up, but yet again, they're not. I feel disappointed. I've been watching things slowly deteriorate. Here in Canada, we can't get our oil out. We can't do anything. We're blocked by the Russians. We're blocked by the Americans. Everybody's trying to shove it up our butt, including the Chinese. Amazingly enough. All Canada has is raw resources. That's really all we are. And unfortunately, we can't even get our own resources out. There is a movement here in Western Canada. There's talks of separation. I don't believe it'll happen. But I do believe that there's going to be changes in the Canadian political scene very, very quickly here. Things cannot continue on. There's a snapping point ready to break, and I'm afraid people don't understand that we're on a cusp of something great. I don't know what it is, but I know that the energy and everything that's been built up. I've been trying to follow this Q thing, and I just don't know what the hell to say. I've got some people say, "Oh no, this is the greatest thing since sliced cheese," and then I got other people, "Nope, this is all fake." A lot of the stuff that was revealed and that they've talked about doesn't add up. Nothing adds up. This whole deep state thing, this, that, and the other thing. You got Trump's son-in-law there, Kushner, over in Israel. That's not a good thing. I'm a very angry goy. Let's just say that. Between Benjamin Netanyahu and Jared Kushner, if there was an antichrist with the two of them together, I don't know who is. And if you follow Gematria, B Netanyahu adds up to 666. It's good enough for me, and I've known that for a good many years. And a handful of other things. I am in possession of some technology that people have been talking about for many, many years. I possess some technology that most people, if they'd laugh, but it has been put out, and now it's time to sit back and reap what I've sown. I've seen many things. I know many things, and we're going to let things fall where they may. Once people realize what's about to occur here, there's no turning back now. I opened this channel up for the simplest of reasons. It's not so much to warn people, it's just a simple manner of expressing myself. I'm an artist, I do what I do. And in my process of 30 years of creativity, I have built things that most people would never understand. Part of it was the challenge, part of it was arrogance. Because I could. So I did. I make no excuses for myself. I have a special spot in hell reserved for me. I know that. I don't post often, but I think being Halloween night and the way the energies are in this world and everything, I reveal a little bit of myself. Is it good? Is it bad? It is what it is. I don't know if there is such a thing as good or bad. I'm conflicted on so many levels. There's a lot of people out that are going to go, well, why are you recording? What is this all about? The internet and YouTube and everything, everybody is warning about everything. If you're not prepared now, you never will be. It's just that simple. Since 9/11 and stuff, we've had close to 20 years to prepare ourselves for the madness that's coming. Apparently, we're going into a grand solar minimum. That's not going to make life easier. We've got food shortages. We've got diseases running around. Who knows where Ebola is? I don't know. I've heard tales it's here, it's there, and it's everywhere. But I do know from people that are around me, I live in about 30 kilometers away from the biggest military base in the Northern Hemisphere. Do I feel good about that? No. I live in a city that is close enough that when all hell breaks loose, the Queen and the rest of her family, they're coming here. Probably the biggest underground base in the world is just sitting down the road from me. Does that make me nervous? Yes. Do I think this needs to be talked about? I guess. There's nothing I can do about it. Knowing, there's little solace in knowing that I could be pushed out of my own, domicile because, well, the Queen's coming here or whatever. Is that going to happen? If it goes hot, yes, the Queen will evacuate to Canada. No ifs, ands, or buts. I know preparations are being made right now. I have individuals that I've known for many years. And part of the reason why I'm making this video is not because of hearsay or something. I'm just saying I know enough to tell you that there are preparations that are being made. Not for when, but if. Because if it goes down the way I suspect, there may not be enough time to move around. So things are going to change very abruptly. I don't know exactly when. But I do know things are going to change because there is a power play going. There's a vacuum going. There's a shortage of resources. Too many of us. They want to kill us off. I do believe that. I experienced the flu shot here a couple of years ago. And as I said before, I'm an artist. And the flu shot, I worked in greenhouses for years. And through the repetition, I wore my hands out. And when I got this flu shot, it set in, and I've had pins and needles in my hands for 2 years. I'm on enough Guavapentin and Lyrica to light up, like legendary amounts. My doctors and stuff are just amazed that I function at any level that I am with the amount of pills I have. I rattle through the course of the day like you wouldn't believe. I'm trying to convey a certain level of information for the people that are on the West Coast. Between the radiation of Fukushima, they say 80 Chernobyls a year are being released into Fukushima. Out of Fukushima into the ocean. That's a lot of radiation, and that's been going on for 11 years now, apparently. I don't know what to say about all of this. I've got friends that were living on Vancouver Island. They've came back to Medicine Hat. And, oh man, they both got cancer. I'm just astounded. I really am. I mean, I've got friends that are living there that are sicker than dogs, and they don't want to leave because they've got other family, and I get that, but man, we're dying. This whole planet is dying. I'm sure I've said things that'll trip off the old algorithms, but I'm not being monetized. I don't care if I make a buck. This isn't about money. This is about simple madness and just knowing what I know And maybe the 11 subscribers that I have, maybe they'll pass on the myth. But I think time is short, very short. I've spent probably the last 10 years really nailing in my preps. And the key things, shelter, water, things like that. And somebody asked me, where are you going to go? The opposite direction of whatever the hell is happening. It's just that simple. I lay here in a red room, dim lights, and I contemplate the universe all the time. I sit back and I think to myself, we only have a short time. Why do I say that? Just nutrition alone. We have food shortages. We're going into a global cool down, apparently. Grand solar minimum or whatever. I have a tendency of believing that because I've never seen October this cold, and I've lived here all my life. I think, for the most part, there are people that are curious to what's going to happen. I've never proclaimed to be, a save soother or anything like that. I'm not clairvoyant. I'm not Nostradamus. But you see enough of what's going on in the world that you start adding things up. All these fires in California and everything, this is done for a simple reason. And that is just to get people out of there. Because I think other people want that land. I think that's part of the drive, to get everything burnt down so it's clean slate and people can move in and do whatever the hell they want. And now, last time I heard, the fires are in Los Angeles and the south end of it. I don't know. It doesn't sound good. But I do think we are in a position here in the next little while that there's going to be more carnage. I don't think it's going to be less. I don't think things are going to back off or let off. And I hope, to those who hear my voice, spread the message. I'm not here to be a fearmonger. I don't like to live in fear. I spent a long time in the industries where I learned that fear is a powerful motivator. And I believe they are using fear to move people around. Regardless if you believe it or not, I do see a time coming in the next little while that if we're not prepared, and all I keep on seeing in the future, for what I see, is just more stress than what we need. I mean, right now, the last 5 years, you look at they say, well, how did we get to this point? A slow, gradual, daily change. 50 years ago in Canada, sodomy was a offensible, and now we give out wedding licenses. Go get married. Do whatever you want. Parents aren't allowed to be parents. We live in a nanny state. Our powers are diminishing as individuals. When a corporation becomes an individual and they have more rights than we do, how do we survive when a corporation becomes a legal entity? And this is part of the thing. And they get to a point that they believe that they're too big to go down. And I'm a believer of the free enterprise system. If you screw it up and it fails, it fails. You shouldn't get bailed out. But here in North America, that seems to be the tendency. We're too big to fail. Yeah, well, you know what? Failure is a good thing. Man, I've learned more from my failures than I ever did from my successes. So failure makes for stronger things. And I wish for all of those out there the best of luck, a happy Halloween, and I'll talk to you later. I'll try to leave some more videos. Man, I hope you guys are prepared for what's about to be unleashed in whatever manner it is, but there is something coming down the turnpike. What it is, don't know. But it scares me in the sense that I don't like not knowing. And there's a lot of people like that. And Feel free to leave comments, questions, whatever. I'll try my best to answer. You guys have a good night. And thank you from the Hubs of Hell, Messnet Hellberta. Good night. See you later.